Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES television.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. The American Italian Cultural Center and Museum on South Peters in New Orleans offers event venue space, Italian language classes, dual citizenship and translation services, seminars, genealogy, and trips to Italy. Ciao! AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hello, Miss Poppy. Love the red, beautiful. Alfred Richard's back, yay! Movie critic for WWL-TV. Hello, sir.
Hello there, Peggy.
Great to have you in the house. Yes.
Thank you.
And Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Miss Poppy, yet another feast to look forward to.
Another feast. Well, after we get through Memorial Day, the federal holiday, the next federal holiday will be Juneteenth, which of course is June 19th. And Serene Mabay of Dakar, NOLA, held a celebration last year that was extraordinary at a Mississippi farm. But this year, it's going to take place at Grodat Farm in City Park. I was at a fabulous dinner there in the fields 2 nights ago, and it's really going to be a wonderful party. So this is Sunday, June the 18th. We're going to have Touré folks making cocktails. Of course, that's turning tables. Charlie Pierre from Fritai will be there. Martha Wiggins from Cafe Reconcile. And if you want a little taste of what to expect, tune in to the June 3rd episode of Louisiana Eats, which is going to be my Juneteenth episode. And Serene will be talking all about the fun last year and looking forward to this year. So, speaking of looking forward, you know, Peggy, Memorial Day means that summertime is really here. And what says summer more than tiki cocktails? And so our friend Mark Ladder and his friends are inviting us all to the Bower, where they're in the Lower Garden District. They're having a summer tiki takeover through the month of July, 7 days a week from 4 p.m. on. You can have tiki drinks, of course, but also there'll be bites to go along with it, like spam musubi, spicy salmon poke, pad thai. So it's just, what fun, you know. During Tales of the Cocktail, it's going to be a great place to tuck away, but invite your friends, have a party, a tiki party. And the kids, it's a great outdoor space, and so the kids can play while you're having the tiki party. And to completely go to another range, the Gianna is kicking off their summer dinner series, and that's going to happen next Wednesday night, May the 31st, and they're going to start off with a red gravy dinner. Now, who isn't going to enjoy that? But then every month through September, they'll be highlighting something special. Miami Vice in June, Sicily in July, Sardinia in August, and the Piedmont in September. And then, you know I love a bargain. How about 5 courses at GW Finn's for $100? I don't know about that dinner. It's a rare opportunity. And so make the reservations now for Wednesday, July 12th. Chef Mike is going to be showing off what he calls his charcuterie You know, he is one of the U.S. masters of dry-aged fish, which I know aged fish sounds like an oxymoron, but trust me, until you've had his special bits from the sea, because he's big on like, those are the collars. Oh my God, do I love fish collars, and they always are on the menu at GW Finn. So make that reservation. 5 courses, $100, and look at him. I mean, oh gosh, that dry-aged tuna is on the menu all the time. And it's like eating meat in a whole new way. It's really not fishy at all.
All right. Thank you so much, Poppy. Sounds wonderful. Well, Alfred, of course, you know, we usually have you on to talk about movie and TV, sort of Hollywood South production.
Yeah.
There's only one thing to mention real quick, and then I've asked you to tell us about the movies that you're looking forward to this summer. So what's up? I know we've got the writer's strike.
The writer's strike is causing a lot of sturm and drang because there's only one production in New Orleans, this region, and it is untitled right now. It's just called Untitled Marine Project. Now,
who's in it? Anybody famous?
that's what I'm still learning.
Don't even know.
There's still no real information. I at least determined that it is about the Marines and not about marine life. So that at least is the case.
More later.
More later in that. And everybody's talking about the summer. It's the summer movie season, and I'm so glad it's not turtleneck season right now because it's so hot out there, and it's going to get hotter. But the first movies I'm going to talk about, one I was looking forward to, involved, some of the movies have a little Star Wars connection to it. I have to, of course. There's one, it's called The Machine. Now, The Machine stars comedian Bert Kreischer, and it's based on a real story about his life, of all things. Back in his college days, he was dealing with a trip to Russia and drinking heavily and getting afoul of the Russian mafia. Well, he is estranged from his father. His father is played by, get this, Mark Hamill.
And we just saw Mark Hamill's picture in there,
That's
too.
right. We've now come to the point where Mark Hamill is now playing the father of remember, I am your father. Well, in this case, he is there. The movie is rated R. It opens on Friday, The Machine, at the AMC theaters and at the Britannia Uptown, and I've just learned as well at the Broad as well.
Oh, good.
So, the next film, I was listening a little bit on NPR about this performance, and then I got a chance to see a bit of it as well. It is called You Hurt My Feelings. And this one stars Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And of course, we all remember her from Seinfeld. We remember her from Veep. But in this case, she plays a novelist whose marriage is really strained because her husband gives his real feelings about her novel, and she hears it. And so there's some tension, there's humor, there's everything that you would expect Julia Louis-Dreyfus in. Tobias Menzies plays her husband.
Outlander, he was in that.
He was Outlander, that's right. So this combination is going to look well in this. So again, this is You Hurt My Feelings, and it opens at the Broad Theater and AMC theaters as well. And one more, of course, we're sticking with a little bit of Star Wars and such. We all remember Indiana Jones. Of course, where were you when Raiders of the Lost Ark was first shown in the theaters? Well, we're now at the 5th Indiana Jones movie, and this one is called Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Personally, I always thought televisions don't have dials anymore, but I had to get that joke in there. It stars, of course, Harrison Ford, and Harrison is getting a little long in the tooth, so a lot of critics are starting to say, is it time that Harrison hang up the fedora? But in this film, he has a great bad guy. And of course, the bad guy is played by Antonio Banderas. So the concept, and some of the other characters that we remember, like John Rhys Davies' character, Sala, is back for the ride. Will this be the last Indiana Jones movie? we'll see, especially since if the box office is really good on it, who knows? They may get Indiana Jones Beyond the Grave. That may be that sort of thing. It opens June 30th. Who knows? Sam Raimi may have to direct it. It will be sort of Evil Dead meets Indiana Jones. But that's what's going on, and that's what I'm looking for this summer.
Harrison Ford's keeping pretty busy. He's on an Apple TV series.
Yes.
Plays a shrink.
Shrink.
Okay.
He also in a Yellowstone prequel.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yellowstone
1923.
prequel with
yeah.
Helen Mirren.
Yes, I love that.
It's
I
a
watched
really
that.
good. So he
good
is.
for him.
He's not letting any grass grow under his feet.
You like that?
Or fedora.
Thank you so much. Former Kenner City Council Mayor and Krewe of Endymion founder and captain Ed Muniz passed away last Saturday. Here's an excerpt from an interview I did with him in 2008 concerning his childhood memories of someday wanting to put on a parade.
Like any other little kid, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, I had a lot of toys, like trucks, military trucks, and I'd put them in my mother's house on Touré Street, my mother and dad's house on Touré Street, and I would, whether it be a little model airplane, or whether it be a truck, or whether it be soldiers, or a tractor, and I'd one by one, I'd move them all through the house, and I'd say, now that room is Gallery Hall, and that room is the auditorium, and that room is the French Quarter. And I'd move my little parade all around my house, and then as I got older, I hung at Stalin's Playground plenty, which is near the fairgrounds. And it was obviously near a place where all the Nazi trucks would go in the afternoon. They must have had a substation around there somewhere. And I was sitting in the park in this playground, and I'd see the Nazi trucks coming by, the same ones that would lead the parades for the clearance wires. And I'd always dream that those trucks would lead my parade. I mean, I think it was preordained that I was going to form a carnival club.
And of course, many of us remember NOPSI, which is now Entergy, but Ed Muniz. A public memorial service will be held Friday at the Pontchartrain Center, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Liturgy services are at 2 p.m. And then after that, a motorcade will pass by the new Endymion Garden at Delgado Community College. It's right there in Orleans, right behind the brand new Delgado and Oxner Center for Nursing and Allied Health teaching facility. And ironically, that's at Orleans and City Park Avenue, across from where they line up, of course, the Saturday before Mardi Gras. Kudos to Kern Studios for creating the statue, but it's right there where they actually do line up, and so he will certainly be sorely missed. And Alan, I know you have memories, and we've got a great photo of him and your mom. And your mom was very involved with Venus. We should point
Venus,
that out.
but he was very involved with Carnival. He was inspired by Irma Strode, who was the captain of Iris, and that was his inspiration. He would always come every year to the Iris Ball and escort the maids from the past out. There you go. I mean, that's Mardi Gras epitomized right there between two people. They just loved Mardi Gras, ate it up, and just lived for it. And Edmund, of course, I worked for him. He had Papa Stop on his WNNR, WJMR radio station.
And he owned quite a few radio stations.
So when I ended up working for him, he says, well, you know, I'm Sunny Stopper. There's Papa Stopper, Sunny Stopper. You're Baby Stopper. So I never knew. I thought I may have been some sort of prophylactic at one point. But you know, the point is that I did work for him. I don't know anybody here at WYES can attest to that claim as well.
No.
So you know, I love working for him and being at WYAT. I enjoyed it, but you know, I got to know his family, and that was really where his true love was. Aside from Mardi Gras, he loved his family. My condolences to Peggy, all the kids. Well,
you know, some folks may not even realize that it all started out earlier as a Gentilly parade, which lined up right around the fairgrounds.
Right.
Okay, there had been Adonis, and then unfortunately that went away, and so they start this. So they had that for a few years, but the story goes that Blaine Kern invites him to Bacchus and shows him, look what you could do. And so a few years later, they worked that out, and then the rest is history. Endymion is the largest parade in Carnival, which is just incredible. You know, and
interestingly enough, Bacchus, you mentioned that, was started up. Marshall Pierce, who was my boss Ross at WSMB Radio was one of the first people who suggested, hey, why don't we have some celebrities get involved with Carnival?
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely.
All goes back to radio.
And he was the
doesn't
first
it?
president he was the first president of Bacchus as a result.
You know, I know that your family was involved with presenting concerts, and Ed Muniz would do that too. I think
Sure.
he worked his way through
He took Mardi Gras and said, you know what? There's not a big enough building in New Orleans to contain me other than the Superdome. So yeah, big thinker, and you know, did great things for Jefferson Parish. You mentioned the city of Kenner.
Yeah.
You know,
Good guy, good
just
government.
a wonderful individual and a great civic leader.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to yourself, sir.
Well, now we
What
have
you
to
got?
get to the more mundane things, these plays. But the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime, that's what we're going to really talk about right now. This particular play is based on a book whose narrator is a 15-year-old savant boy with autism. And the premise of the work is to transport you, the reader, if you will, the playgoer, into the imagination of an autistic child who's a mathematical genius. Simon Stevens adapted this work for the stage by the Royal National Theatre. It won Best Play and 6 other Olivier Awards, a record at the time. After its transfer to Broadway, it won Tony Awards, not only for the Best Play, Best Director, breathtaking lighting, and scenic designs as well. Don Scott Cooper, who's the producing executive director at Le Petit Theatre, hired Salvador Manino as the director. He guaranteed essentially that the essence of that Broadway production would be recreated, but with bold and innovative strokes that make this smaller production as unique as a computer-generated prime number of 2 × 10 to the 22nd power. Fernando Rivera, who plays Christopher Boone, he's the all-important central character. He plays it brilliantly, tenderly. A communication with an autistic child can be difficult, as you probably know, and it's due to the way they process the world around them. Rivera really nails it down with his direct manner of speech, his innocence of the world. He cannot tell a lie, for instance. Christopher's journal is read by Chauvin, played by Justice Hughes, and while the boy's sensory overload and thought processing is really conveyed through the projections that you see from Nightlight Labs, it's all designed to essentially transport you into the inner workings of his mind. Now, his domineering father is Nick Strauss, that's Ed, and his absent mother, Judy, played by Diana Shortez, have not really been role models for this child. Obviously, the pressure of raising an autistic child is demanding. They're working class British people in a small town. It can be understood to be depressing and outright demanding. And both parents try to express their love to him, but it's a hardship. Strauss plays his role with a really passive-aggressive kind of restraint, but Shortez, her performance is all in. She's both heartrending and spellbinding. Ryan Hayes also adds his support in this as their neighbor, Roger Shears. The talented Erin Cessna plays Mrs. Shears, while the remarkable Jen Pagan plays Mrs. Alexander. And then the 2 other roles, Kevin Wheatley and Dylan Fuselier, who are debuting with LPT, they play a smaller number male roles. The special effects are absolutely spellbinding. You can see the triangles in the back there, if you will. Again, it all goes to bring you into the inner workings of Christopher's mind as he goes on this literal and metaphysical journey. It's a brilliant piece of theater, and I tell you, it will suspend your imagination at times, but the payoff's a true appreciation of really his intent and ultimately his greatest triumph, his achievement, being able to do things on his own independently. So it's wonderful to see. Go check it out if you can. It only is lasting for another 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Richard Thomas, everybody knows John Boy. He headlines the national tour of To Kill a Mockingbird. That's the Aaron Sorkin penned drama that tells the beloved Harper Lee tale of the South of bigotry and prejudice, of course. This play is now the most successful play in Broadway history. It may surprise somebody to hear that, but Jeff Daniels, who originated the role as Atticus, also Ed Daniels, who replaced him, were both legitimate box office stars, and they brought in tremendous monies into the revenue there. This new script is somewhat different from the 1963 Academy Award-winning film with Gregory Peck, but there's still lots to focus on, including Scout and Jem and Dill and Boo Radley. Tickets really selling exceptionally well. Next week, we'll look more at To Kill a Mockingbird.
Alan, just a quick side. It turns out playing a small role in that national tour is Mary Badham, who played the original Scout.
Yes.
So look for Mary Baddock.
Okay.
She's all grown up.
We all know that because of the Tennessee Williams Festival, right?
Yes, that's right.
Now, last Monday night, Erica Jensen, the Bob Hope and Dolores Hope entertainment director at the National World War II Museum, stopped by my NOLA Theater talk show, and we introduced Kata Cavalier, who's the reigning stage door idol. You can see Erica there and Kata at the bottom. Following their appearance, BB Stage Door Idol announced that they were increasing the number of slots available with their auditions. So check out the fact that they're now from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday, and of course on Tuesday from 5 to 8 p.m. That's the National World War II Museum. If you want to check out a $2,000 top prize, sign up online before all those slots are gone.
Okay, a PS to that too.
Yes.
Monday, Memorial Day, 11
Yes.
o'clock, there is a concert with the Victory Bells
Yes.
and an American Legion band too at the World War II Museum.
And check out Billy and Ella. They're on Wednesdays too. So check. All right, Fat Squirrel Productions. We heard about them kicking off their second season. They're going to be starting it off with a sing-along of all things of something like The Lion King. Okay, it's going to be at the Ty Tracy Theater in Gallier Hall. Tickets are just $15. And cosplay, that is wear costumes, that is encouraged and asking people to come in as characters of The Lion King. And then in just a few more weeks, Paula Vogel's The Baltimore Waltz will open at the theater at Ty Tracy Theater in Gallier Hall. So that's exciting news. Also, exciting news from across the parish line. The Jefferson Performing Arts Society has just announced that Robert DeVinny, who is the former chief operating officer for City Park and the co-captain of the Krewe of Argus, he is now the new executive director at JPAS. And that brings new leadership to that 45-year-old production company, with Dennis Estaf still in place as the artistic director. Next year, there will be 3 musicals. Here are the musicals. The View Upstairs, based on the Upstairs Lounge disaster, of course, that happened. Young Frankenstein by Mel Brooks, and Jesus Christ Superstar with, of course, Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice. You need to sign up and audition. Here's where you can check out video auditions now through June the 5th, and, of course, the open auditions from now through June the 3rd. Yes. And last but not least, the Opus Ball last Saturday night. I had a chance to check out that with Carlos Miguel Prieto, the retiring music director and principal conductor for the LPO. Photo with the maestro there. There you see him with one of his devoted music fans, as well as Anwar Nasir, who's the executive director and founding member, Tipponist Jim Atwood, who is also retiring. He's the orchestra president.
No, really?
So he's going to be hanging up his mallets after this season. And then here's Anwar with current board president, Dr. Bernard Jaffe. And then finally, Nell Nolan with the former president and now life member of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Randy Mays. Congratulations to the LPO on a magnificent season and a lovely send-off to Carlos, who is heading off with his family to North Carolina to take over their symphony.
But they said he might come back.
Yeah, he'll come back.
Too.
He'll
So
come back.
Thank you very much. Time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Well, speaking of balls, you know, Peggy, it's shocking, but it's true. In November, it'll be 10 years since I had the heart attack. And I am so honored to have been asked to do the Open Your Heart presentation at this year's American Heart Ball that's presented by the American Heart Association. It's Saturday, June 10th, and I do have to say, Peg, our friends at the English Tea Room have donated the little favors for everyone that night.
so
So
sweet.
isn't that lovely?
That
What
is. They're
wonderful
great
people
folks.
they are.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Alfred.
Oh, Alan, you were talking about Young Frankenstein. Isn't that Frankenstein? And speaking of horror, this has become a classic, a rite of passage for a lot of people. I still remember dressing up, and still remember a friend of mine dressing up as Magenta to be Rocky, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And it's there at the Britannia Friday and Saturday night. And of course, what time? Midnight. And that's at the Britannia Uptown.
All right. Thank you. Alan.
Well, during the summertime, we often hear about all the opportunities for the young kids to go to summer camp and learn how to be an actor. Well, how about the older folks? Anthony Bean is turning that on its ear. The founder, of course, of the Anthony Bean Community Theater. He's calling on all adults who have been bitten by the acting bug or are interested in becoming part of his upcoming productions to take up his challenge and learn how to be an actor. He's going to be at his Chapatula Street studio. And for more details, just call 504-862-PLAY, and I'll see you possibly in or at the theater.
Okay, thank you. Now, my picks, these amazing pastries, and we're going to get a good shot of that, reminds us that the Greek Fest is this weekend, presented by the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Cathedral. New cantor John Boyer will be singing Byzantine hymns during the Vesper service and church tours. Lots of grab-and-go food, some new dishes dishes. And the festival now, of course, there's a run that's now on Saturday morning. Thanks so much to Helen Malachias, who runs the pastry booth, and our pal Denai Columbus, too. Go to gfno.com for all the details. The Symphony Chorus New Orleans will perform Mozart's Requiem and more this Sunday at 3 p.m. at St. Francis Xavier Church. That's right there on Metairie Road. Here is a Requiem excerpt, Dies Irae, seen during a recent rehearsal. Under the direction of Stephen Edwards, once again, the chorus performs Sunday at 3 p.m. For tickets, purchase at the door or go to symphonychorus.org. Cajun scholar Barry Onselet signs his new book, From Behind the Mask, Essays on South Louisiana Mardi Gras Runs, the Career to Mardi Gras. That's Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Octavia Books. And American Roots radio host and folklorist Nick Spitzer will interview him. Only 4 seats left for the WYES Season of Good Taste fundraiser at the Pelican Club, June the 6th. 5 courses, wine and gratuity included. Go to wyes.org/events for tickets. Thank you all so very much for watching, and good night.
Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES Television.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. The American Italian Cultural Center and Museum on South Peters in New Orleans offers event venue space, Italian language classes, dual citizenship and translation services, seminars, genealogy, and trips to Italy. Ciao! AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.